Now I'm ready to put the centerline into profile and redesign it. So we're going to use a tool called Edit Profile. Under the Modeler pull-down menu, it's located under the Elements menu called Edit Profile. And a dialog comes up called Active Profile Control. At this point I'm going to go ahead and turn my display off. And I also want to open up another view, View 2. And I'll plot my profile of the centerline inside View 2. So the first step in using this tool is to right-click on the profile cell status. Select Profile Cell Setting, which gives me a Site Profile Cell Setting dialog. And I simply just need to click the Add Element P-Cell Chain icon and select the centerline element that I want to profile. So I'll select that icon, select, and accept the element. You should notice that there's an arrow head pointing in the direction that we'll be viewing the profile, so as if you're standing to the left side of the road facing it. I'll go ahead and place that profile cell into View 2. Click the Place Profile Cell button and data point in View Window 2. And close the Cell Setting dialog. At the Active Profile Control menu bar, I've got 8 buttons there. Those represent the 8 possible views that could be open. And in View 2, I'm going to right-click and set that to Profile. At that point, Geopack fits the profile to View 2 and draws it. You'll notice as I scroll in the profile, or along the profile, I also have a cursor in Plan where it's locked it onto that element. So I can kind of know where I am in Plan and in Profile at the same time. So the first step is to redo my profile. Again, I picked up the elevation on the very far left and the very far right of the main road. So that endpoint is right at the main road edge of pavement. We have a series of tools for us to use to draw the new profile. I'm going to bring that tool palette up called Vertical Component Tools. We also have another tool that might be helpful, and I'll bring that up for now, called Curvilinear Coordinates. And it basically allows us to see the station and elevation while we're in profile, or if I happen to be in Plan, station and offset. I'll move that out of the way for now. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom in to the left side of my profile. Now I want to go ahead and start a profile line at the endpoint of the profile. So I have a tool called Create Profile Line by Points. And you'll notice the tool settings have slope and length. I'm going to go ahead and lock in a slope of -2. So I'm going to continue the 2% of the cross slope of the road out. And I'm going to continue that out for 40 feet. So I'm going to lock a length in as well. Now I need to enter the first point on my profile line. And I'll just snap to the end of the profile. And there's my 40-foot line, and I'll just data point to accept the creation of that line. I want to do the same thing on the other end of the profile. So I'm going to click on the View 2 button with my left mouse button. That fits the profile to view. And I'm going to zoom in on the right-hand side. Using the same tool, Create Profile Line by Points, this time I'm going to go the same length, but I'm going to go to 2% slope. for 40 feet. I'll snap to the end of the line, and I'll go 40 feet to the left side there. There's two solutions. I'm going to choose and data point to the left. And go ahead and fit it back to view. So now I've got the edge of pavement, or the center line, at a 2% slope coming in from the main road. The other thing that I want to do is I want to establish the elevation in front of the building. So if I drop window 2 to the right over here, notice that when I'm in this middle part of the profile, that's in front of the building. And I know I need to be at a specific elevation there because I put the building in already. Well, in order for me to get that information, I'm going to use a analysis tool. We used the profile analysis tool earlier to cut a profile across the road. Now we're going to use the height tool to kind of get the height of the building in the area in front of it. So I'm going to go ahead and access that tool, height tool, and I want to query the height of the building 1. And I want the mode set to elevation. I don't really need triangles and contours and flow arrow on. I'll turn those off. And I'll click Start. And I'm going to snap to the midpoint of this element in front of the building. That's at the edge of the 2% graded slope. So I'll grab my midpoint snap, and I'll simply tentative to the midpoint. In the curved linear coordinates dialog, that happens to be at station 37. In the height slope dialog, that's at elevation 5265.847. So I know that at that particular location along my center line, I need to be about 5265. So in order to start my profile line at 5265 and approximately that area, I've queried and got the station for that. I'll go ahead and round that up to station 740. So first thing I want to do is grab the create profile line by points. I'm going to go ahead and key in a station value of 740, and I've locked that in with a check mark. As far as elevation, I'm going to key in 5265, and I've locked that in as well. So the first point on my line will be at station 5265, elevation 740. I'll click Apply, and that'll send the data point to the tool. So I click Apply, and my line will start right at that elevation. As far as the slope, I'm going to run a minus 0.5% slope. And I'm going to go ahead and carry that slope out for 220 feet. And that'll put me to the outside of the parking lot entrance. So as I pull my cursor back up into window 2, you can kind of see the profile line, and I'll data point to accept that. Now I'm going to continue again from the center of the building to the left and run that same 0.5% slope out. So I'm going to snap to the end of the line, and I'm going to change my slope to 0.5%, but this time I'll create it a little bit longer, 260 feet, to the left side of the building, or the left side of the parking lot. Data point to accept, and now I've gotten my driveway or entrance road in front of the building set. At this point, I can toggle off slope and length and simply just connect the dots. I'll draw a line from the end point of one line to the end point of the little 2% area on the right, and I'll do the same for the left side. Now I've got my tangent set. I'm going to go back and add some curves in there. I'll zoom in to the left-hand side of the profile. And I want to place a little vertical curve between these two tangents. So this time the tool that I'll use is called Create Profile Curve Between Two Elements. I'll select that tool. In the tool settings I could lock in a radius, or I could lock in a length. I'm going to go ahead and lock in a length of 60 feet. And I want to select one tangent, so I'll select and accept the left tangent, and I'll select and accept the right tangent. Geopack will show me the solution, and I'll data point to accept that solution. I will continue working my way from left to right along the profile, placing vertical curves. So I'll place a vertical curve here, this time 160 feet. I'll select and accept the left tangent, select and accept the right tangent, accept the creation of the curve. At the center, in front of the building, I'll drop back down to 60 feet, select accept, select accept. Next I'll go back up to 160, select accept, select accept. And then the final curve again was a little 60-foot curve near the southern entrance to the main road. And I'll fit the view or the profile back to view, and there's my profile. So instead of the purple, I want that site element to take on the profile of the green curves and the blue tangents. The icon on the Active Profile Control dialog is called Define Site Element Profile. I select that icon, and then I simply just have to select any of those elements that I just drew and accept them. Once I accept it, we found all the vertical component elements that are going to be used for the profile, and then we accept the profile creation. And now the profile's been updated and the site element has been updated. So if I turn my display back on, I'll see a little bit different contour distribution. Next we will define the edges of pavement and so forth to finish our road.